At a family dinner, my parents kicked me out. "You're not behaving like a man," said Dad. I laughed and stopped paying for my sister completely and left. A week later, Sis going crazy. Family dinners at my parents' house had always been a trap. They'd lure me in with the promise of a nice meal. But as soon as I sat down, it was always the same, some new crisis involving my sister, Isabel, and how I needed to step up and fix it. I almost didn't go that night. I had been dodging my mother's calls all week, already knowing what she wanted. But she wouldn't let up. "We just need to have a family talk." That was code for, "John, give Isabel what she wants." I should have just ignored her. When I walked in, the scene was painfully familiar. My mother was fussing over the table, my father barely acknowledged me, and Isabel sat with a glass of wine, scrolling through her phone as if she were a guest at an expensive restaurant. We went through the usual motions, how work was going for me, not that they really cared, how Isabel had been so exhausted lately, how my parents were just so proud of her. And then, right on cue, she dropped the real reason we were all there. "So I've decided it's time for me to start my own business," Isabel announced, swirling her wine like she was already a powerful CEO. My mother lit up. "Oh, honey, that's wonderful." I continued eating. "What kind of business?" "A luxury fashion boutique. Something exclusive, high-end." I almost choked. Isabel had never held a job for more than 6 months, and now she wanted to run a business? My father cleared his throat. "We've talked, John, and we all agree this is a great opportunity for you to help your sister." I put down my fork. "Help her how?" My mother smiled as if she was telling me something obvious. "We think the best solution is for you to sell your business. You've made enough money. You can always start something new. But Isabel needs a chance." I stared at her. "You think I should sell my company, so Isabel can open a boutique?" Isabel scoffed. "Not just any boutique. A high-end fashion brand. I have such an eye for style, and I know it'll be huge." I shook my head. "You have no business experience." She rolled her eyes. "I'll learn. You quit your last 3 jobs because you got bored. This is different." My father leaned forward. "John, you wouldn't be where you are without this family. We raised you to succeed. It's time for you to give back." I looked at them. My mother, nodding in agreement. My father, already disappointed in me. And Isabel, looking smug, as if she had already won. I exhaled. "No." Silence. Isabel's face twisted. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean no. I built my business from nothing. I worked my ass off for years. I'm not throwing that away so you can play dress up for a few months before you get bored and move on to something else." My mother gasped. "John, don't be cruel." My father's expression hardened. "You're not acting like a man." I laughed. "Because I won't let you guilt me? Because I won't sacrifice everything just so Isabel can pretend to be an entrepreneur?" He stood up. "You don't belong here if you won't support your family. Get out." I looked at my mother. She didn't even look at me. Isabel just sat back with her arms crossed, content. "Fine." I pulled out my wallet, took out the credit card I had used to pay for Isabel's expenses, her rent, her car, her endless shopping, and laid it on the table. "I'm done. Figure it out yourself." And I walked out. I expected a backlash. A guilty phone call from my mother, an angry text from Isabel. But what happened next? I never saw it coming. The first few days after that dinner were quiet. Too quiet. No angry phone calls, no guilt-tripping texts, not even a passive-aggressive email from my mother. I had cut her off financially, and yet, nothing. I should have known better. On day 5, I got a call from my bank. A fraud alert. "Mr. Carter, we have noticed some unusual activity on your account. A series of large transactions have been flagged as potential fraud." My stomach sank. "What kind of transactions?" "Several purchases from high-end fashion retailers, a couple of luxury furniture stores, and an attempted wire transfer of $15,000. I didn't even have to guess. I didn't authorize any of that, I said, already clenching my jaw. We figured that out. The charges were made on a card that was recently deactivated. I froze. Wait, deactivated? Yes. A credit card that was cancelled 5 days ago. That was when it hit me. Isabel had continued to use my card after I left somehow. I hung up and checked my statements. Sure enough, there it was. Thousands of dollars in purchases, all in those 5 days. The same card I had physically left on my parents' dining room table. I called Isabel. Straight to voicemail. I called my mother. No answer. I went straight to my parents' house. When my mother opened the door, she looked annoyed, like I was a salesman wasting her time. John, what are you doing here? I stepped inside. Where's Isabel? My father came into the room with his arms crossed. She's busy. I bet she is. Did she tell you that she stole from me? My mother frowned. John, don't be dramatic. Dramatic? I pulled out my phone and showed her the bank charges. She somehow kept using my credit card after I canceled it. Isabel just walked in, holding a cup of coffee like it was a casual morning conversation. She barely looked at me. Oh, relax. It's not like you're broke. I stared at her. How did you even use the card? I left it here. She grinned. I memorized it. I felt my blood pressure rise. You memorized my card number? She took a slow sip of her coffee. Well, yeah. I had a feeling you'd do something selfish like cut me off, so I planned ahead. I looked at my parents, waiting for them to say something. Anything. But my father just sighed, like I was the unreasonable one. She's your sister, John. Do you think a little money is worth ruining your relationship over? I laughed. Actually laughed. She stole from me and you act like I should just accept it? My mother waved her hand. It's not stealing, dear. You always paid for things before. What's the difference? I ran a hand over my face. The difference is that I told you I was done. Isabel rolled her eyes. Oh my God, it's not that serious. I turned to her. You tried to wire yourself 15 grand. She shrugged. You'll get it back. I was done. Absolutely done. I'm reporting this as fraud. That wiped the smirk off her face. What? I'm calling the bank and reporting this as fraud. I'll press charges if I have to. My mother gasped. John! She's family. My father shook his head. You wouldn't dare. I held up my phone. Watch me. And that's when Isabel lost it. She lunged at me, in full meltdown mode. Screaming, cursing, calling me every name in the book. My mom grabbed her and tried to calm her down. My father yelled at me like I was the problem. I didn't stay. I turned around, walked out and went straight to the bank. I filed the fraud claim. And that should have been the end of it. But Isabel? She wasn't done. She was just getting started. I thought reporting the cheating would be the end of it. I figured Isabel would have her little tantrum, my parents would throw a few guilt-tripping phone calls my way, and eventually they'd realize I wasn't budging. I underestimated how far Isabel would go if she didn't get what she wanted. The next morning I woke up to over 50 missed calls and dozens of texts. From my mom, my dad, and of course Isabel. But the worst ones weren't from them. They were from my business associates. John, what is going on? Dude, is this true? Call me as soon as possible. I had no idea what they were talking about. Then I saw it. Isabel had gone nuclear. She had taken to social media and posted a long, dramatic story about how I was a cheater, how I stole from my own family, and how I abused my power to ruin her life. And somehow it went viral. Her followers, mostly other entitled influencers who thrive on drama, ate it up. They weren't interested in facts, just the most shocking story. Rich, selfish brother refuses to help struggling sister. They started bombarding my business page with fake reviews, calling me a thief, a fraud, a horrible person. My phone kept buzzing. Calls from clients. Emails from investors. I called Isabel. Straight to voicemail. I called my mother. She picked up, her voice thick with fake concern. John, you really hurt your sister. I couldn't believe it. You're defending her? After she stole from me? She's just upset, dear. You should have taken this privately. I should have taken this privately? She's the one who made it public. My father's voice came on the line. You embarrassed the family, John. Take down the post, fix it, and apologize. I almost threw my phone down. Apologize? She actually committed credit card fraud. My mother sighed. Honey, be reasonable. Just give Isabel what she wants so we can put this behind us. I hung up. I had work to do. Damage control. I called my lawyer first. He told me to stay off social media, let him handle the fraud suit, and if necessary sue Isabel for defamation. That sounded good in theory, but in the real world? The damage had already been done. By noon, my company's name had been dragged through the mud. Investors were nervous. Potential customers were backing away. My team scrambled for PR, but no matter how many statements we put out, the internet had already chosen its villain. That's when it hit me, Isabel wasn't just selfish. She was dangerous. I thought I was prepared for Isabel's tantrum, but I had no idea how far she was willing to go. By noon, my company's reputation was in freefall. Clients were pulling out of deals, my business partners were panicking, and our PR team was scrambling to counter the flood of fake negative reviews. Isabel's ridiculous sob story about her evil brother who stole from his own family had spread like wildfire. I thought that was the bottom. Then the police called me. Mr. Carter, this is Officer Daniels from the Financial Crimes Unit. We need to talk to you about a fraud complaint that's been filed against you. I almost dropped my phone. A fraud complaint? Against me? Yes, sir. A family member has reported you for identity theft and financial fraud. I felt my blood pressure rise. Isabel hadn't just lied online, she'd gone to the police and reported me for fraud. I drove straight to the station, met with the detective assigned to the case, and dumped every piece of evidence on his desk: bank statements, fraud reports, transaction histories. Fortunately, I had already filed my own fraud complaint with my bank, so my lawyer had everything ready. The detective frowned as he leafed through the documents. This paints a very different picture than what we were told. No kidding, I muttered. He sighed. We'll investigate further. In the meantime, I'd strongly advise you to cut off all contact with your sister. As if I hadn't already tried that. I left the station angry. Isabel had no intention of stopping. If she was willing to call the police, what else was she up to? I had to stop her. And then, out of nowhere, I got a message from someone I never expected. Mia. She was one of Isabel's old friends, someone I'd seen at family events, but never really talked to. Her message was short. Hey John. I know we don't talk, but I need to tell you something about Isabel. I hesitated. Was this a trap? Before I could answer, she sent me a screenshot. A private group chat. Isabel and her influencer friends. And in it, Isabel had written it all. El Mayo, he actually thinks I'm serious. My little scam complaint? Just a scare tactic. Even if it doesn't stick, it'll ruin his reputation for months. He'll have no choice but to pay me off. I felt a surge of cold anger. Then another message from Mia. She's been bragging about it for days. She literally said she's testing how far she can take it because she knows your parents will defend her no matter what. That was it. I had her. She thought she could burn my life to the ground and walk away. She had no idea what was coming. I stared at the screenshots, my pulse pounding. This was it. Proof that Isabel had lied, manipulated, and used the police as a weapon to extort money from me. I immediately called my lawyer. I have hard evidence that Isabel's fraud report was false. Screenshots of her admitting that she's doing this to ruin my reputation. What's our next move? He didn't even hesitate. We go on the offensive. And that's exactly what I did. First, my lawyer sent everything to the detective handling the case: Mia's screenshots, my fraud report, and a formal countersuit against Isabel for filing a false police report. The detective called me within the hour. "This changes everything. We're dropping the investigation against you immediately." That wasn't all. Filing a false report was a crime. Isabel had just incriminated herself. I asked if they were going to arrest her. The detective said it was possible, but at least they'd bring her in for questioning. I grinned. Since she had no problem dragging me through the mud in public, I decided to return the favor. I sent the screenshots to my PR team and let them handle the fallout. They drafted a statement exposing Isabel's lies, how she had stolen from me, committed fraud, and then tried to frame me to force a payout. Then I released it. No emotion. No drama. Just cold, hard evidence. And the internet went nuts. The same people who attacked me before? They turned on Isabel. Her influencer friends started deleting her comments. Some even messaged me, trying to backpedal. I had no idea she was lying. "I'm so sorry, I should have asked for your side first." Isabel's own followers began calling her a fraud. Within hours, her social media exploded. She tried to do damage control by posting a shaky video of herself fake crying. "I was just emotional. I didn't mean for it to go this far." No one bought it. Brands she worked with dropped her. People started digging into her past and found out she had done similar things before. Her influencer career? Dead. My last move? Erase Isabel from my life. I contacted my bank and added fraud alerts to make sure she never pulled this stunt again. I blocked my parents. Predictably, they called and begged me to make things right. "John, you ruined your sister's life. She's struggling. Have some compassion." I just laughed. She did this to herself. Then I hung up. And just like that, I was free. Isabel had spent her whole life getting away with everything. But this time? She lost. Destroying Isabel online was satisfying, but I wasn't done. She had tried to ruin everything: my reputation, my business, my freedom, just because she thought she could. She had spent her whole life manipulating people, and every time she screwed up, my parents were there to clean it up. But not this time. This time I was going to bury her. The fraud investigation was bad enough for her, but I wanted more. I called my lawyer again. "How do we destroy them financially?" His answer? "We sue." So that's what I did. I sued Isabel for fraud, defamation, and damages to my business. The stolen money, the PR nightmare, the lost clients, I was going after it all. She ignored the legal notices at first. She probably thought my parents would swoop in and fix it. Then she was served in person at a coffee shop, in front of all her influencer friends. Someone recorded it. The video went viral. Entitled "Influencer Sued for Fraud, Watch Her Reaction." She had a complete meltdown. And my favorite part? The lawsuit wasn't even the worst part. Isabel's luxury apartment? I had paid for it. Or, to be more precise, my credit card had paid for it. Since I reported her for fraud, the bank reversed every charge she had made. Her rent? Gone. Her car payment? Reversed. Her shopping sprees? Cancelled. She woke up one morning to find her accounts frozen and her eviction notice taped to her door. I got a text from my mom. "John, Isabel is being evicted. She has nowhere to go." I replied, "Not my problem." Even after all that, Isabel thought she could bounce back. She tried to create a new influencer brand. She deleted all her old posts, rebranded herself as a personal growth guru, and started posting about overcoming toxic family members. So I made sure she never got the chance. I sent her full history: fraud, police reports, the lawsuit, to every brand she tried to work with. Companies that dropped her? They blacklisted her permanently. New ones she approached? I made sure they knew who she really was. One even emailed me back. "Thanks for the warning. We won't be working with her." Her whole career was dead. With her accounts frozen, no job, and no way to earn money, Isabel had to move back in with my parents. The same parents who had supported her for years. I received one last voicemail from my father. His voice was cold. "You have turned your back on this family for the last time. Don't ever come back." I laughed. I had won. Isabel had lost everything: her money, her apartment, her reputation, her whole future. And the best part? She did it to herself. I didn't hear from my parents or Isabel for months after that last voicemail. It was as if they had finally accepted that I was done with them. And honestly, life had never been better. My business was picking up, my reputation was solid again, and without the constant drain of my family, I was thriving. Then, out of nowhere, came 3 surprises. One day I got a call from my attorney. "You're going to love this," he said. "Remember when Isabel filed that false fraud suit against you?" "Yeah? Well, it turns out the DA has decided to press charges." I actually sat down. "You're joking." "Nope. Filing a false police report is a felony. Since she admitted to it in those leaked messages, they have her dead to rights." I burst out laughing. Isabel had thought she could use the legal system to screw me over. And now? She was the one who had to face the real consequences. The best part? My lawyer told me she pleaded guilty in exchange for no jail time. But she still got a criminal record. No more fancy jobs. No more big-name sponsors. No more career. A few weeks later, my phone buzzed with a number I hadn't seen in months. It was my mother. I let it go to voicemail, expecting another guilt trip. But when I listened, I almost choked. "John, honey, your dad and I need some help. We're in a bit of a financial situation." I laughed. Of course they were. They had spent their whole lives coddling Isabel, covering for her, financing her every bad decision. And without me as their personal ATM? They were drowning. The best part? She didn't even bother with pretending to care. She went straight to begging. "We had to take out loans to help your sister with the legal fees, and now the house, the bank might take it, John." I shook my head. Not my problem. I deleted the voicemail without answering. The final surprise came a month later. I was in my office when my assistant knocked on the door. John, there's a woman at the reception asking to see you. She says it's important." I frowned. "Who?" She hesitated. "She says her name is Isabel." I felt a mixture of amusement and disgust. She actually had the nerve to show up at my place of work after everything? I didn't go to reception. I had security escort her out. As they did, she screamed, loud enough for the whole lobby to hear. "John, please! You can't just leave me like this. I have nothing." That was the last time I saw her. Isabel and my parents had used me for years. Draining me. Expecting me to clean up every mess, finance every bad decision, throw away my own success for them. And the second I said no, they crumbled. They thought I was their safety net. They never realized that I was also the only thing keeping them afloat. Now I was free. And them? They got exactly what they deserved.